All right, YouTubers, I'm going to do a video. I've gotten a few questions lately that a lot of people have been asking about full-time and thoughts on full-timing. So I'm going to do my type of ramble about that stuff. I want to start off by saying this is kind of like your daily dose of sodium, meaning take everything I say with a grain of salt. There's a lot of people out here on YouTube that make videos, and some claim to know everything, and mostly we all have opinions. So take it for what it's worth. The first thing I'll say is you watch a lot of videos and everybody shows you how great and perfect RV life is. RV life is great, but it ain't perfect. A lot of people give the advice of, they find out that somebody wants to do this, or they make a video saying, this is the greatest thing ever. Throw all your crap away, sell your house, go out there. All right, distraction. That advice is fantastic for some people, and that advice is horrible for a lot of other people. So I think the first thing you need to do, and I've said in videos before, you need to know who you are. You need to know what's important to you. So I think the best thing that somebody can do is get their RV while they still have a home and try it out, especially if you've never done it before. If you've gone on some camping trips on weekends and came to the conclusion, I want to go full-time RVing, I'm going to buy an RV, sell the house, and go. I think a better idea for people to do is to buy the RV and start taking trips. The longer trips you can do, the better, because it's going to give you a more accurate idea of if this is something you want to do every single day. Because I think it takes practice. I think like anything you do, you go from not knowing anything to practicing until you've learned a lot. And for me, when I bought this RV, I wasn't capable, I wasn't able at the time I bought it to just automatically go full-timing. And for me, that turned out to be kind of a good thing, because I would take a trip of a couple weeks, a month, and then I do a lot of trips 3, 4, 5 months. And I've learned through that I love my trips. But there's a part of me that also likes having that home base, that little bit of stability to go back to. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I have friends that have made big RV purchases and found out it wasn't exactly for them. And I think, again, when you get on YouTube and you get watching all those videos, it can snowball into you putting blinders on to the real aspects of life sometimes. So I think the best thing is to go out for extended trips. I know some people that do a lot of RVing, some that full-time, that they actually get homesick from time to time. I personally, I don't suffer from getting homesick, but there are times after a long trip, it's nice to come back. There's things about RVing that you have to change the way you live your life. And when you get back to a real house, it's nice that those things aren't the top thought on your mind every day. And we'll get into some of that. Hold on. Okay, so a lot of people look at this as, my stress will be gone. This is a get out of the rat race, get off the hamster wheel, all that kind of good stuff. And that is so very true. Very, very true. But that doesn't mean stress goes away, because it's life. There's things that don't always work out perfectly. So don't go into this assuming that everything's going to be easy. There'll be times when it's pouring down rain and you've waited as long as you can, but you got to set up or tear down in pouring rain. There's going to be times where it's too hot. There's going to be times when it's too cold. There are things that you have to get accustomed to, and taking those practice trips before making the full-time leap for a lot of people is a good idea. Then I think you also have to, that learning period of doing it for, say, like a year. Say you throw out a random number. You decide, okay, I bought this RV and I'm going to do a year of long trips, short trips, whatever kind of trips you want to do, and make assessments and learn to practice. And most importantly, learn to find your way of doing it. You'll watch a lot of videos where there are many people that love to spend all their time staying nights at Walmart. You might find, yep, I like it. That's what I like to do. Me, I'm not a huge fan of doing the Walmart parking thing. And you might find the same thing for yourself. or whatever that is. There's a lot of people that say, go out to the middle of the desert and sit there forever. And it's great. But you might find, yep, that's for me, or you might find that's not for me. And having taken those practice trips will give you an insight as opposed to jumping in full time and then realizing a big part of what you thought was going to be your favorite part might be something that you don't enjoy doing. So there are lots of things to think about, such as there are some people, like I said, we'll just use going out into the desert in the middle of nowhere. There are some people that think that's great. There's some people that want to do it and they get out there all by themselves. And there's some people that want to do it and be in groups. You got to find out if that's for you. There's jokes on the internet of people make fun of those and they call them that they're just out shitting in a bucket. Now, most people aren't actually doing that in a bucket. But when you're out there, there are a lot of things you have to consider. Water use, going to the bathroom and dumping all that stuff, your power. There are some people that that's not an issue. And there's some people that can't do that. That can't always have to consider where their power is coming from, where their water's coming from. They find it irritating. I think I've done like 2 months where I showered in the RV. And it's not hard. But it's not my favorite. I don't think it's great. So finding that out for yourself, like, can you do a month of taking a gallon, maybe 2 gallons worth of water shower every day? I dealt with it. Not my favorite. I could deal with it. I know people that ain't gonna work for me. I can't do that. So doing trips before making that great big leap will at least tell you what you do and don't like and how you may want to pursue your RVing. Or, again, I've known people that go, found out this wasn't for me, and now where am I going to live? Not many, because most people take some thought into doing it. Then it comes to driving your RV. I love to drive. But again, if you watch a lot of my videos, you'll notice I complain about driving quite a bit. I guess it's the one thing I complain about most, because when you drive something, even this Class B, and you get to bigger, man, you're going to find out quick how irritating other drivers are, how they can be irritating. And just the roads are really bad. And you find yourself looking around your RV at every noise you hear. And this one's pretty good. It doesn't make a ton of noise. But there are times when you're going to be driving on some really tough roads where it's going to feel like your RV's falling apart. I remember I took one trip up to the Northwest Angle in Minnesota. So you go up to War Road, Minnesota. You leave the United States. You drive through Canada to get back into Minnesota. And probably my bitchingest video anytime I've ever made. And again, I complain about roads from time to time. It's like my pet peeve. But I'd driven like 7 hours that day, and then I had to drive on really washboard roads. I couldn't find the right speed to make it smooth. The RV felt like it was tearing apart. When I got back, I had to do some suspension work because it was really tough. And those times are great unless something really breaks, or you just realize that there are days that I've had enough of this, that I don't want to do that. So those beautiful trips you take to wonderful places, most of us, I do the time-lapse driving videos and show you the clouds moving and all that because I like that. But we don't often show, even though you might love driving, it can be a hassle. And there are days that it's not the greatest thing in the world. And then you learn if you want to be a person that goes from point to point or if you want to drive forever. I figured that I would drive until it got dark and then I would just sleep. And again, traveling with pets, you find out you do it a little different. A lot of people, I put myself in the same place with a lot of people, is I think you like to get to a point where you can set up and be done. So yeah, basically, even if you love driving, there are going to be days driving an RV from a Class B up to a big honking RV that it's not the most fun day of your life. And that's without things that could go wrong. So take the rose-colored glasses off and realize it's not always going to be perfect, but it's going to be great. You'll find out very quickly if you do the trips things until you get to full timing to decide if that's what you want. You're going to find out how flexible you need to be. I know people, I've had people in my life that flexibility wasn't their thing. That if things didn't go along, if we didn't make it to where we were supposed to make it every day, things were not good. You gotta be flexible. You gotta realize you're taking the greatest drive in the history of ever to Yosemite or wherever you're going, and you didn't make reservations. Well, that might be a day that you end up sleeping in a Walmart parking lot and being a little sad because you couldn't get a camp spot or you couldn't find a place. So being flexible will be very important on short trips, long trips, or full-time in whatever you choose to do. There is a great RV community out there. There's a great RV community in real life, people you meet face-to-face, and there's a great online community for RVing. So know going in, again, quick trips, long trips, full-timing, that there are resources out there that will help you, will feed your soul, or whatever you want to put it, like-minded people where you get to interact with. I found that I meet a lot of people out on the road. I always say, again, if you've seen my videos, I don't put people on camera, but I meet a lot of people on the road. What you tend to make, though, are short-term, casual friendships. If you're a person that needs your people, needs your support group or whatever it is, once you get on the road, that's going to change a little bit. If you, again, going back to some people I know will get homesick. They'll miss friends and family and stuff like that. If you're one of those people, you have to realize through your practice that, all right, maybe we go here for a few months there, and then I need to get back to my people, to my family and friends. That would be a good way to keep your RV dream alive. If you become solitary and you're not a solitary person, you're not going to be happy. I've seen some videos, and it always makes me laugh, that people get all excited and they're like, I'm going out to the desert. And they're not solitary people, and then they get out there and sad and lonely. You chose to put yourself out in a situation. So again, that's what doing some practice before making the leap can help you with, of learning who you are, how you like to RV, and what you like to do. And don't let anybody ever, nowhere, in your face, online, and YouTube videos, tell you that your way of doing stuff isn't right and you're not, you do it the way you want to do it, right? So, wrapping up, which usually means for me that I'm going to talk for another 14 hours. Not. A lot of people are going to give you that advice of sell everything, go do it, you're wasting time, you're burning daylight, TikTok, your life is passing you by. Great advice. But I think the best advice for most people, many people watching this video because you're still contemplating it, is take your time, do some practice, get a feel for it, determine if this is really what you want to do. I've said I do have friends that always thought this was everything they wanted in life, and they found out it wasn't. You'll find people that have this dream of they want to go see every state in the union, which, that's what I want to do. But then you'll find a lot of people that actually kind of go back and forth between two places. The RVing mantra is north in the summer, south in the winter. So you'll end up finding a lot of people that's what they basically do. They got a place in Florida or Texas or California or in the warm places where they go, and a place up north in the summer. Nothing wrong with that. But if you leap in and don't know what's for you, man, I just think that's a rough thing to do. But as I sit here right now, I haven't been on an RV trip in about 2-3 weeks, and I'm getting a yearning. That's probably why I'm doing the video. You'll find out the way you do it is different on different trips too. When I go to a destination, I do more camping. And when I tend to be on driving trips, I do more exploring or whatever it wants to be. Okay, so I love my RV. I love the way I RV. But keeping it real, there are times that an RV gets frustrating. You know, things break. I've been really, really, really lucky. Hold on. This is my good luck block of wood that I knock on quite a bit. Compared to many people, I've been very lucky. That doesn't mean I haven't had problems. But there are still times that RVing gets a little frustrating, I guess, at times. You know, this is a small space that overall I won't change because I like going outside. But you have to find for you the balance of that stuff. When you're stuck in sometimes, that's when I get a little, when I feel stuck in, if it's raining a lot or something like that. I still do my best to go outside, but there are times. But I'm able to do it this way now, and I'm able to be happy with the way I'm doing it. I'm content. And that's the kind of thing I'm trying to share with people. Don't go by other people's expectations. Find out what your own expectations are, and then live it that way. Find the way that works for you. And you can watch all these YouTube videos, which is a great thing to do, and then you can find your way and incorporate it into the way you want to do it. But being real and keeping it honest, it's not always perfect, because nothing's always perfect. And there are times that you might get out there and go, oh, I've had enough of this. It's normal. It happens to everybody. And for me, and I think for pretty much everybody, that passes pretty quickly. You know, if I'm having a not great RVing day, I go do something that reminds me of why I'm doing it. I go hike somewhere. I go check something out. But I think to get to full-timing, most people that find success in it do the stages and realize it's what they want to do. Now, you have to keep in mind, too, that when you're going to decide and make that jump and sell everything, it seems to be, there's not a hard, fast rule, but it seems to be 5 to 7 years, a lot of full-timers get kind of burnt out on it. Sometimes maybe they just need to go take a cruise or something and do something different and then come back to their RV or whatever it's going to be. But there's a lot of people out there on YouTube telling you living in Walmart parking lots, living out in the desert, living in campgrounds is fantastic. Just find what's fantastic for you. So also keep in mind, if you're traveling as a couple, that gets amplified. There's more people involved. And all this ramble that is finally closing to an end, we didn't even talk about the money part of it. We didn't even talk about the logistics part of RVing. Money's a thing. You got to find a way to have money. And going from place to place, you can wander. You can flip a coin and decide to turn right or left, or you can plan it out. So I hope I stumbled across something. It's all common sense. Do a little bit of planning and go find what works best for you. Find your why. And I think once you do that, you'll have a great and wonderful day.